Individualism is stupid. So, if you're coming at it from an evolutionary perspective, we are social creatures. We are social animals. Um, and the whole reason our society, if you go back to the Eastern cultures, because this is like one of the largest differences between Western and Eastern culture. Western culture is very individualistic, you know what I mean? There's not a lot of us together, all of us working together for the greater good. No, it's you have your personal freedom and I have my personal freedom, and I'm gonna do whatever I want as long as it doesn't infringe. And you can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't infringe on my personal rights. And to an extent, like if you're gonna talk about consciousness as a purely physical thing, to an extent, um, con you know, again, if you're talking about evolution and consciousness as a purely physical thing, to an extent, our consciousnesses evolved for social bonding and for keeping us together. And it's obviously made for self-expression. I think self-expression is great and amazing, and it can move an entire society forward. But where it starts to become a problem is when it starts taking over the entire society, and that's why I think we're so messed up in the West. I mean, the East is pretty messed up too, don't get me wrong. But, humans be messed up. But, read the Bible to figure that one out. But, in general, the reason why the West be so messed up, they say, like, oh, we're supposed to be smart or whatever, but we're still so messed up, is because I feel like there's a lack of individuality. And I feel like in the individuality, no, I think because there is an overabundance of individuality. And I think individuality is good, but I feel like too much of it is bad. You know, and I think there we should have a sense of freedom there. There needs to be a middle ground for everything, and that's one of the problems I have with this world. There's no middle ground. We need individuality. It is a part of our self-expression, and for some people, a vital part of their existence. But people take it too far, and it turns into me, 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 me. And everyone's like, look at me, I'm so glorious, and I'm so up here, and then it causes other people to feel little, belittled. And then there's no sense of there's no sense of how do you help other people? How do you build other people up? I feel like that's really lacking in Western society. And in Eastern society, it's, I'm not going to the extreme. You got communism. Communism would work if Jesus was in charge. But because humans mess up everything, that's why communism doesn't work. So, getting a little bit too on the... I feel like when you go right or left, you can go a little bit too right field and you can go a little bit too left field. But I feel like some of the Eastern religions and societies that really have this down is definitely 100% Israel, especially ancient Israel. They were very pack-like. They were very together, They had a little bit of individual expression, but they were very together as one people, as God's bride. And, also I feel like, again, there's some messed up stuff in, like, history's messed up in general. You can't really blame I also don't like when they blame people for being a product of their time. But, you know, there is an extent to that. But, although there's a little bit some messed up stuff in Hinduism and Buddhism, I will say, in especially in the more Indian culture, the Hindu and the Buddhist stuff, like within you, without you, there's such a connection to like each other and the world. And I you know, give some points some points to those religions right there, because you know they definitely help the world in a way that makes people more close together. But then, you know, you got the caste system and you got all that stuff, which was not nice, really messed up. But yeah, because you know, even as a Christian, I'm at a point where I want to be chill, bro. I want to be chill with people. I want to be like, your religion's got some perks. This stuff helped the world. Doesn't mean I'm going to back down. Doesn't mean I'm going to say, yeah, but Satan comes in disguise, you know? Satan comes as an angel of light. Repent and turn to Jesus, man. You know? That doesn't mean I'm not going to go that far. Doesn't mean I'm going to endorse their religion. I have to stand up for Jesus, but we got to start thinking outside the box if we're going to move forward as a society. Maybe it'll make people hate us less. Now, of course, as Christians, we're supposed to be hated. The Bible tells us that no matter what, the world's going to hate us. But maybe we'll be able to move forward in society and get Christianity more involved in society if we stop being so narrow-minded. God bless.